Alright guys, hello there, this is Alan with the part 2 video of his Dimir control mill reanimation deck. We're currently 6-2, we just need one more win to hit the final boss, and a quick overview of this deck. It's just a very controlling, nice blue-black Dimir deck with a bit of reanimation synergy and a mill synergy, and mill as a win condition in this deck. We do have double spine Megalodons to make it much more easier for us to loot them away and reanimate them with double rise again and obsessive stitcher. We have Teferi's tutelage as a nice win condition, and Sanctum of Calm Waters, which can help us speed up the clock with the Teferi's tutelage as well as obsessive stitcher. We have a nice sweeper with Pestilent Haze, and then removal and excellent removal involves Eliminate, Grasp of Darkness, maybe Read the Tides to bounce 2 creatures, and Roaming Ghostlights, and double fed into play defense. So yeah, this deck definitely overperformed than I've expected. We won a couple of games with the Rousing Read onto the Spine Megalodon as a win condition. Eliminate managed to deal with a lot of aggressive white players, especially the ones with Seasoned Hollowblade on turn 2. In two of the games I think we won, we Pestilent Hazed the Seasoned Hollowblade, which was indestructible unless you use the first ability of this this card. So yeah, overall, quite impressed by this deck, to be honest. I didn't expect ourselves to get to 6-1. This usually is like a tier 2 archetype that you don't want to be drafting in M21 drafts, since it's not only a hyper-aggressive format, but there's a lot of flyers going around, and there's not a lot of time to kind of play your cards, so to speak, since it's very aggressive, and most of the black creatures at common are quite lackluster. So they aren't really like amazing. Like for example, 4-mana 3/3 is not something you really want to play. But yeah, looking at the sideboard again, Peering to the Abyss is unplayable. I decided to cut out 1 Rise Again, since I think 3 reanimation spells should be enough. Having too much reanimation spells but not any targets to reanimate from the graveyard can be a big issue, and I managed to one of my games I even managed to bottom a Rise Again and still managed to win by casting the Spine Megalodons on turn 7. Yeah, so we're actually playing a Wishcoin Crab over an extra Skeleton Archer because it's just a better ground blocker. At 5 toughness, it can definitely tank a lot of damage. Playing 1 Wall Runes not only does it help a Scribe, but it can be early defense against 3 powered creatures. Mistral Stinger is too aggressive for this deck. I could also run the Cancel, but I think we're more of like a tap-out deck. We're trying to deploy our ground creatures to play defense, maybe halt the opponent from attacking, and then leveraging card advantage for the victory, so we can either mill the opponents or assemble our combo with the Rousing Read and the Spine Megalodons, or just get the Mind Spine Megalodons down and constantly attack. There's also another cool combo in this set. I noticed the Shipwreck Dowser Rise Again. You can, whenever Shipwreck Dowser dies, you can just Rise Again to Shipwreck Dowser. Shipwreck Dowser can get back to Rise Again, so it can be kind of like a nice permanent creature that can block and trade off that you can reanimate again. So yeah, definitely a fine blue-black control deck. It could definitely be better. I definitely prefer the blue-black control decks with multiple frantic inventories. Maybe an extra obsessive stitcher over Rise Again. Definitely maybe like Reign of Revelation on 4. But yeah, this deck managed to overperform and exceeded my expectations. So let's move to the final boss, get this video over, and win our 2.2k gems and 6 packs. Let's go. Alright, nice mythic opponent. A pretty high rank too, I think. Is that number 27? Alright, this should be a challenge. So we have Wall of Runes, Rousing Reed, and Skeleton Archer. There was one game where I remember that both our rousing both the Sanctum and the Teferi's Tutelage was destroyed, but we managed to win. I think this is an okay keep. We'll try it. Opponent's on the play, so we get an extra draw step. We have both our colors available. Opponent's also playing blue. Okay. Could be a mirror match. Could be blue-red spells. The scariest archetype. Do we need a second island? I don't think we do. I think the Rousing Reed onto the Wall of Runes will eventually get us something. So opponent's looking to be quite aggressive with flying, so maybe we just need to attach the Rousing Reed onto the Wall of Runes to hold off the flyers and for a while here, since this can get out of hand. Warded battlements, okay. Yeah, this is going to definitely get out of hand if we don't put a halt to this, so I think the play here is to Rousing Reed the Wall of Runes, as weird as it seems. Yeah, we'll just do that and maybe ditch a swamp. Ooh, not bad. Okay, so we have access to Roaming Ghostlight and Fetid Imp now, and then next turn we can either play out the Skeleton, Archer, or the Sanctum, but this is a really good ground blocker. Opponent could also just play his own Roaming Ghostlight next turn to bounce to 1/5 and get an attack, so do I want to be mana efficient? Do I want to play out the Fetid Imp? I don't think we need the Sanctum yet, since I might want to get to turn 6 for the Read the Tides. Let's say Roaming Ghostlight bounces next turn and gets in for 3. I think I'd rather have the Fetid Imp on defense, so it can get Death Touch and trade off for the Watcher Sphere, so I think it's fine doing this. You could also have a counterspell like Lofty Denial here, like all the Flyers have, but that's okay. I'd rather get my 2-drop counter than something expensive. Could have Lofty Denial. I think he's holding counterspell. Otherwise, he's not. I don't understand holding on all this priority. But I guess it's safely resolved, so if he manages to get his Roaming Ghostlight next turn to bounce the Rousing Reed, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so he did have removal anyway, so but at least our Fetid Imp can hold off the 2/2 flyer for now. So happy that I played this. Shacklegeist, okay, another scary flyer. So opponent is going all in with Azorius Flyers. Here, I think we're just fine playing out the Roaming Ghostlight, bouncing the Watcher Spheres to make him recast it. Buying more time, I think. Alright, a Lofty Denial, that hurts, so I'm going to be taking 6 in the air. Yeah, I knew he was holding on to it, so I'll be taking 6 in the air. And then, wow, that's even scarier. Okay, so I'll be taking 6 in the air. Next turn I can maybe just take 4, trade off with one of his Flyers. Skeleton Archer might be able to hold off the 3/3 ground blocker, so we'll just do this. Maybe represent whatchamacallit, the Grasp of Darkness. Celestial Enforcer can start tapping, so that's also an issue. So probably opponent's just probably gonna pass. He's probably gonna just tap our Fetid Imp and get him for 6, which I don't want. So do I actually just use the Read the Tides to bounce the 2 Flyers down? I think I might have to, just to prevent the damage from coming in and to prevent them from growing. Yeah, it might be too much damage, so I think we're just going to use the Read the Tides as tempo. Because I don't see myself drawing 3 cards and winning here. I think I just need to buy some time. And then now we can stay back with the Fetid Imp. I could also just play out the Sanctum. Do I really care about them gaining life? Not really. I think I'd rather kill off the... I'd rather guarantee the death on the Celestial Enforcer so he doesn't tap down my stuff, so... I think this block is okay. And then I guess I'll be taking a bunch in the air, like maybe... Okay. I don't like how this is getting pumped. Guess we'll opt instead of using the spines, since I don't think it's going to get there. Can I Rise Again? I guess Rise Again is pretty nice to bring back the Roaming Ghostlight. Sure, I think we'll just do that. And then we can now use Rise again. Bring back the Roaming Ghostlight, I think. And then that can trade off for the 4-3, and then bounce the Watcher to put him back. Trade off for the 4-3, and maybe we can play the Sanctum next turn and start finding answers to all these flyers. Opponent's definitely not giving us enough time to deploy the Spy Megalodon, so that's definitely an issue. So we're probably going to have to start looting to find removal spells for these. So we do need to eliminate and Grasp of Darkness, I think. Otherwise, again, we're going to be taking too much. Fetid Imp, excellent. Alright, so now we can play Sanctum and Fetid Imp. Yeah, we'll just do that. And no Lofty Denials up, so... Why is the auto-tapper like that? Like, that almost cost me the game. So now I can hold off the 4-3, trade off for the Watcher, and take 3 in the air. And hopefully find my removal spells. Alright. Let's do some blocks. Taking 3, so we're on a 2-turn clock after this. So definitely need to find removal for the Shacklegeist, or we're going to be in big trouble. Okay, Eliminate seems excellent. Do I just use it now? I think I do. Okay, that could be a feat of resistance, but that's fine. Okay. Alright, so definitely buying some time here. Managed to deal with all the opponent's flyers. Opponent's just passing the turn. Do I want to loot? Not really. Let's play out the Spy Megalodon. He didn't seem to have a counter spell, so I guess he had one anyways. Okay, I guess now we can Rise again to get it back, or just bring back the Roaming Ghostlight in case he plays something else. Pestilent Haze. We'll decline again. Yeah, he could have Swift Response, so I think the Spy Megalodon has to be the reanimation target here. And now we can start attacking and then clocking him. Opponent could all just be holding to nothing but spells. Okay, so we're definitely going to win this, perhaps. Don't think we need to draw. We'll just attack with the Spy Megalodon and start clocking him. And it's nice since we can Scry. Don't need a Vodalian Arcanist. We'll bomb that. And then now we can reanimate like a Roaming Ghostlight at instant speed. I used both my reanimation spells already, so we do need to kind of speed this up, I think. Let's ditch this land, play See the Truth. Find a better playable that we can find off the top. Grasp of Darkness is excellent. And then I think we're fine attacking in with the Spy Megalodon. Maybe end of turn we can reanimate a Megalodon to start pressuring him even more. I mean, if I reanimate another Megalodon, that could be an issue, maybe. Huh. But I think I have to do it here. How about Roaming Ghostlight? Okay, I guess I still have a Rousing Read in the deck for the I could end the turn just Grasp with Darkness here, but we could just save it for something better. Let's just Grasp this Basri's Acolyte, I think. And we can start getting him for 5 still. Ooh, Shipwreck Dowser. Ooh, that's very good. So now I can bring back the Rise Agains and keep bringing back our reanimation spell. Seems very powerful. Let's just play out the Shipwreck Dowser and see. Is there another Lofty Denial here? Because we're definitely making this work. Let's bring back the Rise again since we already have Read the Tides. Or I can bring back the Grasp of Darkness as more removal. Yeah, I guess since we have so we do have a reanimation spell already, so yeah, let's just bring back Grasp of Darkness, I think. and then we can still keep attacking him in the ground if need be. Do we need Wishcoin Crab? Probably not. It can't even attack past the 1/4, so we'll just bottom it. And maybe I could finally ditch this Pestilent Haze. It depends on what he plays next. Alright! Whoa, sweet 7-win victory. The opponent maybe just flooded out that entire game, or was holding on to the swift response. But yeah, Spine Megalodon, excellent reanimation creature. It might even be better than the Waker Waves, but at least the Waker Waves can discard itself on turn 2, while the Spine Megalodon requires a little bit more work to get into the graveyard. But yeah, pretty amazing 7-2 with this blue-black Dimir control deck. Some would consider this the worst archetype to be drafting, along with black-green in this set. But yeah, we managed to get there, so I'm definitely going to keep this as my 7 wins. Let's take a nice clean snapshot of this deck. Let's move the interactions on the other side here. And then I guess this is more or less likely our curve, since these can be cast. We don't need to necessarily cast these exactly at the time that they're given. So yeah, let me just take a snapshot of this for my thumbnail. And we managed to get 7 wins with the worst archetype in Core Set 2021, believe it or not. But yeah, let's claim our prize. And let's pretend we're doing a Core Set 2021 draft by cracking up some packs. Alright, pack 1, pick 1. Let's see, Core Set 2021. Alright, I think pack 1, pick 1, I'll take the Hunter's Edge. Kitesail Freebooter is okay. I think 1 copy of Kitesail Freebooter would have been perfect in our deck, since this is more like a controlling black card. Not something you want to play in an aggressive deck, but regardless, black tends to be very controlling anyways in this set, and this can be an okay way to disrupt a hand in the early game, but keep in mind, it's not a very good blocker, it's not a very good attacker, and you definitely don't want to trade this off, since they'll just get back their best instance, their best non-creature spell. So this is just, I guess, like a 2-mana duress at the end of the day, a temporary duress that puts a mediocre body that can maybe block off a Sapperling token. But yeah, I mean, opponents will eventually find removal, shock this away, and get it back. So it's just a bit of temporary disruption. Not a big fan of Kitesail Freebooter. Speaker of Heavens takes too much work, but hey, if you can get to 727 life, you can literally just win the game with this. But again, it takes the most dedicated lifelink deck to make that happen, and in this very aggressive format, you're bound to take damage pretty early on, so I don't really bank on this, but Hunter's Edge, definitely a great removal spell. Jeskai Elder, also pretty decent in the blue-red Spells Matters deck, Prowess deck, but in my experience, the best blue-red spells decks are the ones that tend to be more controlling, I think, and but yeah, I mean, you can still be like a more aggressively oriented blue-red spells deck, and Jeskai Elder would be a perfect 2-drop. But overall, I'll take the Hunter's Edge. Alright, easy Basri's Lieutenant. Definitely a powerful rare. Yeah, this is close to like a busted rare, I think. The protection from multicolor doesn't come up too often, but when it does, it's definitely a pain in the butt, since the opponent won't be able to block the creature. There's no removal spells in multicolor in this set, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Yeah, this is just a really powerful card. Not only does it synergize well with +1/+1 counters, but even in a deck without +1/+1 counters, this enhances a creature right away, and then the opponent, the person who's facing against the Basri's Lieutenant, needs to make killing the Basri's Lieutenant a priority. Otherwise, if they kill the creature with the counter first, they will get an extra 2/2 Vigilance, White Knight, creature token that they wouldn't have gotten if they killed the Basri's Lieutenant first. So yeah, definitely a powerful rare, easy first pick. Another excellent common would be Gale Swooper in white. White has a lot of excellent commons. So yeah, I've been very impressed overall by white in this set. I think white gets #1 in my color rankings over red due to experience playing this set. And here we have, I don't mind Chandra's Incinerator. I think it's a good rare, especially in a red deck that's not in green. Otherwise, in a red-green deck, I think Chandra's Incinerator is maybe a fine, slight upgrade over the Colossal Dreadmaw, but at the end of the day, like, you know, a 6-mana 6/6 Colossal Dreadmaw is always fine as a curve topper. But this definitely requires a lot of work to get the most benefit out of it. So you do need a deck with a lot of Chandra's Magmuts, where you can ping the opponent, and then casting this for very cheap can be pretty busted. Like a 4-mana 6/6 Trample is quite busted already, so if you have like 2 Chandra's Magmuts and you're able to ping the opponent twice and cast this on turn 4, that's pretty powerful. Yeah, Chandra's Incinerator would be my first pick in this pack. I don't think it's an amazing busted rare, since there's not a lot of Chandra's Magmuts going around, and there's not a lot of creatures that deal non-combat damage. I think I would even, I hate to say it, I think I would even take Shock or even Scorching Dragonfire over Chandra's Incinerator, given that this format is very fast, and there's a decent amount of win conditions and powerful curve toppers in red that you don't need a Chandra's Incinerator. But Chandra's Incinerator is definitely pretty decent, but it's pretty much not necessarily in red green, since you already have like the Colossal Dreadmaw at 6. So yeah, fine card. Best common is like Capture Sphere as solid removal. And as you can tell, the Blue Sanctum also pretty good in the Teferi's Tutelage deck. Well, Stormwind Entity versus Seasoned Hollowblade. As crazy as it seems, I think the Seasoned Hollowblade beats the Stormwind Entity. Stormwind Entity is only best in the red-blue Flyers deck, since the ability wants you to cast an instance or sorcery to cast this for 1 generic and a single blue. And you do want to definitely abuse the prowess mechanic with the Stormwind Entity, so it's going to be it's in its best in blue-red spells. Blue-white flyers, it could be fine, but you need to make sure you have enough ops in order to enable this. But it definitely feels like more like a blue-red gold card at the end of the day, or it can still be fine, like even in our blue-black control deck. As a creature that we don't mind casting Opt and playing the Stormwind Entity with, but it's going to be as best in a heavy Spells Matters deck. But I think pack 1, pick 1, I would still take the Seasoned Hollowblade. Also forgot to note there's a Shipwreck Dowser, but which is also pretty excellent in any blue spells deck, especially blue-black control or blue-red spells, but I would still take Stormwind Entity over it. And this can definitely combo off with the Ryza again. But so does Experimental Overload. Like, you can Experimental Overload and loot that around for creatures constantly, so you can generate creatures infinitely. But yeah, to Shipwreck Dowser to Rise again, it's definitely a cute combo, but easy Seasoned Hollowblade, just a very fantastic card that's difficult to deal with, and once it gets a counter or it gains flying with a Rousing Read, it needs to be a threat answered immediately, or else it can just run away with the game. Alright, in this pack, Easy Soulseer, best removal spell in the set, hands down, in arguably maybe the best or second best color in the set. Otherwise, between Selfless Savior and Hunter's Edge, it is close. Selfless Savior isn't also the quote-unquote best color in this set, and this is just a nice way to protect our flyers and bombs if you have the Selfless Savior. But I don't know, Hunter's Edge and Selfless Savior are close. Maybe I would still take Hunter's Edge. I'm not a big fan of green in this format. I think it is definitely the worst color, but it still has some decent synergy with white, and a pretty solid color if you can get things to work. Yeah, Teferi's Ageless Insight could be a thing, but you don't really want to tap out playing 4 mana do nothing unless you are playing in like a heavy control deck that's looking to last long. So then maybe it's fine taking a bit of damage casting this on turn 4 and then leveraging the card advantage in a nice controlling blue deck. But easy Soul Seer. Alright, it's a question between Finishing Blow and Garruk's Uprising. I think I'll still take Finishing Blow over Garruk's Uprising. Garruk's Uprising is more like a red, green, gold card in the set. Pretty powerful if you are in red-green, since it can draw you a card when it ETBs, or it can draw you a card when a creature ETBs, and it's definitely better than Furious Rise, since Furious Rise you need to wait until end of turn to exile to draw the card, and it remains in exile, so you can't cast it on your main phases. But pretty strong card, but more of like a red, green, gold card. But yeah, Finishing Blow is pretty good. However, I got to keep in mind expensive removal does go down in value in this set due to the fact that it's very expensive. But 5 mana kill to destroy any target creature or planeswalker is still a very good card. But keep in mind, again, this is a very aggressive format. Feeder Resistance is a very difficult combat trick to play around. It's also very cheap, so the moment you try to cast your Finishing Blow on one of your opponent's creatures, they could just respond easily with 2 mana and cast Feeder Resistance. I would definitely rate Feeder Resistance higher than Finishing Blow, but Finishing Blow is also a pretty solid removal spell. So there you have it, our nice 7-win blue-black control deck. I wish I had more time in the first video so I didn't have to make this awkward part 2 video. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this draft, and maybe we can fire off another core set to 2021 draft later. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, guys. Take care.